We are tracking the latest from the campaign trail as Election Day nears now, just 6 days away. Let's bring in ABC News political contributor and former Trump administration official Sarah Isgur, along with the former Democratic mayor of Baltimore, Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, for more on this. Ladies, thank you both for being here. Sarah, I'd like to start with you. One of the challenges for the GOP is getting Trump supporters to vote, because some who believe his false claims about election fraud now think their vote won't count. So what does the GOP need to do to convince voters to participate in an election many candidates are already calling into question?
Well, we certainly saw this affect the Georgia races that went to a runoff after 2020. The Republican Party could have control of the Senate right now, but for Donald Trump telling voters in Georgia not to bother to show up, that the election was rigged. Republicans went on to lose both of those seats, allowing Democrats to take control of the Senate. This time around, it does feel different. You do have Donald Trump, for instance, weighing in to tell Republican voters in Colorado not to vote for the Republican candidate in a general election, which is certainly a surprising turn of events. On the other hand, we look at polling at what the greatest threats to democracy are, and the most recent NBC poll, for instance, said that while 28% of voters think that the Republican Party is a big threat to democracy, 31% actually thought that the Democratic Party was a big threat to democracy. So I think both parties, to some extent, have this problem going into the election. And it's going to be about ground game, these candidates getting their voters to the polls, as it always is, I think.
Now, Stephanie, ABC's 538 forecast shows the battle for control of the Senate is in a dead heat, but Republicans have an 83% chance of winning the House. Why do you think that is? What is the Democrats' biggest challenge at this point?
I think history is our biggest challenge. The fact that at the midterm elections, the party that is not in power, gains seats in election is not news. This happens every time. Whether it's called a shellacking, I think, as President Obama called it, or a whooping, as I think another president said. This happens. So that is a challenge. Voter turnout is a challenge, but it's really this election season feels odd and different because what we know is the polls are showing one thing, the momentum shifting to the Republicans. But when you look at the numbers for early turnout, they seem to suggest that Democratic voters are out in force. So I think, what happens on Election Day is, as we know, is going to make all the difference. And I'm looking forward to seeing what those numbers are so we can translate what this feels like right now into tangible results.
All right, Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, Sarah Isgur, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.